Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is 6:55 in the morning here in bright and sunny California. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I haven't painted in a while. I've been getting that itch. Sometimes if I paint too much, I kind of get burned out and I'm like, oh, I'm not in the mood. And then I get in the mood after I start doing something else. I'm like, oh, I need to paint again. I need to paint again. Let's see. Hello, everyone. I say lock it up ink. Blue Neptune, Patrick T, Adri. Let's see who else is here. Cabza Block. I apologize for butchering names. R33S3, Dr. Coffin Nails, Optic Racer 21, Mostiverse. What's up? What's up? What's up, everyone? Yeah, sorry, it took me a little bit. I sat down and I started like doing all of the stuff to get ready for the stream, and my tummy started growling, and I was like, oh shit, I better eat before the stream starts. I'm still munching a little bit. You're asking what I made. Well, I am out of food in my house. I need to go grocery shopping, but my sleep schedule's been so off. Every single time I wake up, the grocery store is closed. And when I go to sleep, it's, before they open. So my sleep schedule has been a little bit of a hindrance when it comes to getting food. So I am eating chicken patties with cheese. Great. But good morning. We're going to be painting Tim's eye today. There's going to be a few Tims that I paint, but we're on I-42. So we're making some progress. I got some new paintbrushes in that I ordered, and I got a new color, Phthalo Blue, which I haven't done a color swatch little palette thing, which I might do, I don't know, maybe later. No 24-hour grocery stores, none that I want to go to, and none around me. That would be convenient, but unfortunately, they all close at like 11. I know your voice over on the Lord of the Rings was so funny. Great info and reporting. Thanks. Yeah, that video is doing well. Yeah, that chick privated her, she privated her Twitter account right after I posted my first video, and I was in the middle of filming my second video, and I was like, shit, I can't refresh any of my pages because all the tweets will go away. But yeah, if you guys haven't checked it out, I did a video on what to expect from the new Lord of the Rings show, and then the lore expert that they hired for this Lord of the Rings show. It's not promising. Hello from England. Oh, well, hello. What time is it in England? I was playing on my Twitch. If you guys don't know, I have a Twitch channel that I've been trying to get off of, get off the ground and get going. And it's actually doing pretty well. And I really appreciate that. Last night, I did a stream after Flashcast, and it did pretty well and whatnot. My channel got monetized, which is cool. Sorry, I'm like trying to make conversation and eat my food at the same time. I need to make sure I eat. I have 2 chicken patties with cheese. I'm going to make sure I eat at least one of them before I start painting, or else I'm going to crash from no food. But yeah, you up early. Well, yeah, so I did my stream last night, and then I took a 3-hour power nap, and then I woke up and I'm like, I need to paint. You know when you're just laying there and you're like, I need, your Twitch was monetized? Yeah, it's monetized. What is it called? I'm an affiliate, but I only need a few more things to become a partner. And I think a partner is when you get a check mark, which is cool. So I'm like, all right, I'll try. Let me read off to you what I need to be able to get a partner. So it says on here, I need to stream for 25 hours. So this hasn't updated. It takes like a day to update, but I dropped my plate on my lap. It says I need to stream for 12 different days, and I'm at 11 out of 12. I'm probably at 13 out of 12 at this point. I need an average of 75 viewers per stream, and I'm at 40.31. But last night I had like 80 people watching, so hopefully that counts. And then I need to stream for 25 hours. And I'm at 1976, but I think I streamed at least 8 hours in the past 24 hours. So I think that should count. So I might qualify, because you have to do all of this within a 30-day time period. So I think I'm good. Eat slowly. Well, I also want to eat it while it's still warm. That's also a thing. Because I nuked it, and I love like cheese when it's melted. You know? Oh, and I re-upload all of my Twitch live streams onto my secondary channel, that's Star Wars Girl Live. And so if you ever miss any of it on Twitch, Dr. Covenels, my eyes is number 44. Can you please do it after 10 a.m. your time? I want to catch it live. Okay, let me look. Dr. Coffin Nails. Like, oh my gosh, go away. What? Why does everything keep... No, go away. Oh, it's because I'm pushing a button. Oh, I got a new keyboard. It's pink, and I love it. My other one, the spacebar stopped working. But, okay, Dr. Coffin Nails. So you are... Go away. There we go. So the next one is Marco, and then it's you, Dr. Coffin Nails. So let me see. I'm not usually awake after 10 a.m. Maybe sometimes I am. I will try. Are you awake at night? Because that'll probably be the best time to catch it. Let's see. Oh, God. But thank you for these super chat. I appreciate it. All right. Escape. There we go. I think I am. I only need a couple more bites, and then I'll be ready to start. Well, first I'm going to start off by taking off some paint. Let me just scrape off my palette, which is fun. Let me see. As long as it's not after 4 a.m. your time. Okay, gotcha. I want to catch it live. Thank you for the super chat. I will do my best. I'm just, the thing that's, I can't make like a dedicated time because my sleep schedule is so up in the air. Are you guys ready for the Lord of the Rings trailer to drop today? That's gonna be fun, huh? Is there lead in your oil paints? I have one paint tube that does have lead, which is lead white, and I don't really use it because I do not like the consistency of it, but that's like the one that the old masters used. Once I step over to my desk, I'll once I'm done eating, I'll show it to you. But yeah, lead paint is actually the best paint you can get. I don't know if they ship outside of the US, but there's a website called Natural Pigments. And so there's very few places sell lead white because, you know, it's toxic. But a lot of the paint that I use is Gamblin. I really want to go tour their facility. It's in Oregon. Food is so good sometimes. Any plans for Super Bowl tonight? Me and Peaches were trying to think of like where we should go watch it. I think we're going to go to like a sports bar or something. I don't know. I don't really care about the Super Bowl. Who's even playing in the Super Bowl? I got 2 more bites. Bengals and Rams. Oh, yeah. Aren't there Rams in California? You see how much I don't care about football or American football? Okay. That'll be the poll today. I'm going to put a poll in the chat. Oh, yeah, I spelled Super Bowl wrong. All right, there you go. There is the poll. Oh, damn it. Now I have hiccups. As long as they show cheerleaders, I'm happy. Yeah. I'm going to fast forward the game to the commercials. Who's performing the halftime show? Anybody know? I feel like I just live under a rock. I genuinely don't care about these kind of things. I really don't know why it's so big. I wish soccer was bigger here because I love watching soccer. You know what I really like watching is basketball. Like, because I like fast-paced things. And so I go crazy when it's basketball. And I'm a Golden State Warriors fan. Hasn't been the best lately, but it could be better. When I was living in San Francisco, they were like right up there in fucking height. And it was so glorious. I remember I was dating this guy and he was from, well, it's weird. He was from Tokyo, but his family was from Minnesota. So he was like fuck with the Timberwolves. He was a Timberwolf fan. And so it was like our anniversary or something. So I got him tickets to go the Warriors versus the Timberwolves. And I'm a Warriors fan. And he was a Timberwolves fan. I don't remember who won, but I just remember I was broke and in college and I got the nosebleed section and I was just like, they look like normal sized people and we're all the way up here. These guys are giant. Like you don't really grasp how fucking tall basketball players are until you put that into like a perspective. All right, let me get this back up here. All right, I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. Okay, so the first question I got was about what paint has lead in it. Let me move this over. Let's see what palette is cleaner. This palette's cleaner. Let's use this one today. It has less for me to clean on it. Okay, so let me get it. So this is the underpainting color. So this is from, I bought it on Natural Pigment's website. But so this is, I'm going to butcher this, Rebel Colors. As you can see, they spelled colors wrong. They spelled it with a U. And so this is lead white. And so this dries really, really quickly, which I don't like. And so when you have lead, I should be wearing gloves for this part, but I'm fucking stuck. So I accidentally sliced my thumb open. I don't know if you guys can see down in there. It's really deep. It was super bloody. I got blood all over my sweater and I was pissed. But, oh, here's the other one. Okay, so here we go. So these are super duper duper expensive. And I hate using them because they both dry really fast. And I do not like the consistency at all. I don't like the way that it mixes. It smells really bad. And I only typically use this if I have a client that specifically requests it. And then I explain to them that depending on like what it is, I'm going to have to charge more for the painting because these are much more expensive. So let me show you for an example. So this is like Gamblin. So this tube, it depends on where you get it from, but I think you can get it for like about $12. It's still kind of a ripoff. You should just get the bigger tubes. But so this, I think this is like 3 times the price, and they're about the same size. You get a little bit more in this one, and the tube's a little bit different. But yeah. Yeah, so that's it is good paint. So one of the things, your paintings, like if you see like the old masters, like if you see paintings that are hundreds and hundreds of years old, it's because they were using lead in their paint. And they, oh, sorry, but I hadn't moved my microphone over. So that's why when you see paintings and you're like, oh my gosh, this painting is like 5 million years old. How is it still, well, I shouldn't say 5,000, 5 million years old. It's like hundreds of years old, like from the Renaissance. How come it's lasted so long? It's because they used lead. And you can actually find YouTubers that will do like an entire, like, we're painting the way that the old masters did. And so you'll see them use supplies like this. But I've been using Gamblin. I used to use, let me see if I can find one. I used to use Winsor & Newton a lot. I think Winsor & Newton is better for watercolors than it is for oil paints. That's just my own opinion on that one. But yeah, I'm going to add a new color to my palette today. I haven't used this in a while. I use this color a lot when I'm doing what is it called? Watercolor paints. So this is a color called Phthalo Blue. It's a really pretty blue. I like it a lot better than cerulean. Phthalo is just such a pretty color. One thing that you do not want to use, and you should stay away from if you are going to be doing oil painting, is stay away from anything that has zinc in it, because zinc will just deteriorate the oil paint. Alrighty. One of the things that I don't think I've ever shown on here. So what you need when you're doing oil painting is you need something like this. So this is where you keep your turp. And so there's this little metal thing in there. And what you do is when you take a dirty paintbrush, you take your dirty paintbrush, and that's how you get your paint off. But as you can see, there's still some like paint residue, and I'll try to show you guys. It all goes down to the bottom, so you keep the lid on this and it clears it up, and all the paint residue will go down to the bottom, and you can clean it however. It's kind of a pain in the ass to clean, so I only do it like once a month, and I just let it build up and then I clean it. But this one's brand new. This one I've had for years, and let me show you the difference. It turns into this ugly like gray water. So I've had the lid on this, but look at, I've had this one since college. But it has a very terrible odor. But what you want is you want that liquid clear. But so, oh shit, this is my dirty palette, or this is my dirty mixing and cleaner. And so I have a dirty one, and then I have a slightly cleaner one. So I use 2. But yeah. Why are you guys speaking Spanish in my chat? I don't speak Spanish. No hablas español. I just sold my house. I don't know if I will get my calendar moving. Patrick, why don't you email me? And because I still haven't gotten the calendars in. They, we were stuck waiting on the binding. So I think they started assembling it on Friday, but they're closed on Friday, or they're closed on Saturday and Sundays. So they're going to pick back up putting the binding on tomorrow. And so once they do that, then they are going to, once they're done, then they'll be able to ship it to me. And then they are going to, they're going to ship it to me. And then once I get them in, I'll start fulfilling immediately. But yeah, just email me, and so that way we can figure it out. I don't want any lost in the mail incidents. Dentals on my animals. Oh, fun. Oh, are you guys speaking Spanish? Is that where that's coming from? So I got a couple new paintbrushes. This one was like ridiculously expensive. Let me find it. I just put it in here. So this one, brand new. Ow, what is on my foot? It's super. This tiny little thing was $27. Fun stuff. And then I got these. So I do, I paint kind of in a different way. I do a lot of blending. And so I got these blending brushes because the hell is that? Is that glue? Let's see. So what you want is you want them to be thinner. Let's see. You see how it's like pretty thick at the bottom and then it like kind of thins out? That's how I can blend the paint and it'll be seamless. Or else you're going to have to do all these other weird techniques that take forever. All right, let's start cleaning this. I've been meaning to go to like a thrift store again and get some more glass. Is anyone in the chat like, do you guys actually like to do art yourself or do you just like watching it? Like both? I like to watch. Yeah, but not oils. Go turn down that. Which one? Also, guys, if you haven't already, please smash like button. Drew a lot for my job. Let's see. Oh, the Cincinnati Bengals, you guys, that one's winning for the, you guys think are going to be in the Super Bowl. Let's see how this phthalo looks. Oh, look at how pretty that is. Oh, I love phthalo. I like the word too. Oh, this is going to be so good for eye colors. Now, I could mix this color, but I like phthalo blue. Look at that. It's such a pretty blue. All right. Hate wasting paint, but let's get that off. Let's start mixing the colors for this gentleman's eye. Justice for Hombre. Oh, is that where Harambe was from? Cincinnati? I didn't remember that. I sent the link out to my friend Sav and then the Jack Show guys and then the CG chat room. As I know some of you guys like it when I have other people to talk to. That way you guys don't get bored just watching me mix paint. Oh, look at that. That's a nice dark color. No, a little bit more of this color. Yeah, I think it'll be fine. Anyone got big plans for the Super Bowl Sunday? Does anybody actually want to watch it? I feel like even when I was a kid, it's like we never watched football, but my parents were always like, no, you got to watch it for the commercials. And I was like, this is the stupidest thing. Usually you want to avoid the commercials, but not unless it's Super Bowl. Then it's like, no, we got to watch the stupid commercials. You guys think there'll be a lot of woke stuff? Do you guys think there'll be an M&M commercial about the no longer hot M&Ms? Hmm. A bunch of my colors here dried up, so I gotta replace them. Of course, it's the ones that I'm using the most right now. It's always how it goes. I need to clean off this palette and make it all fresh. So it's a little bit janky up top. There's have to be a commercial that you liked. I haven't really watched the Super Bowl the past couple of years, so I can't even think of a commercial. Remember there was one when I was a kid, and it was like about Fabio or something. And then like the lady's like on a boat, and like she's imagining like Fabio when he's all young and handsome, and then like she looks back at him and he's old. I remember my parents just laughing at that, and I didn't know why, because I didn't know who Fabio was. I was like, okay, he went from being young to old. I don't get it. But I remember that one. God, that must have been... That was when it was Tampa Bay versus the Raiders. I don't remember what year that was. And Tampa Bay won. That's what I remember. And I remember this girl in school was just like, Tampa Bay won. Tampa Bay won. Because she was a Niners fan. She's like, F the Raiders. Fuck, what year was that? Was that like 2004, 2003? A long time ago. Uh, 2003. Yeah, a long time ago. See, there's a little bit of yellow. Yellow is always a tricky color. What's your opinion on Ronaldo's performance? I don't want to talk about it. I'm not happy. The game yesterday really pissed me off. Let's just say, I know he's busy. I know he just got back from Dubai and all that stuff. I know he's got like great family life going on, but motherfucker, guys, this is going to be his last World Cup and he needs to win it. We're going to have to play Italy. Not that anyone cares about soccer. What game would happen? Oh, the game just yesterday between... Fuck, I always butcher European names. Well, anyways, Ronaldo's team played another team. And I can't say it because I have a terrible, terrible, terrible American accent. And it didn't go the way I would have liked it to go. Let's just say that. The first half, we were going strong. I was like, yes, yes, yes. And then the second half, I was like screaming. And motherfucker totally was faking that injury. Let's be real. So yeah, I'm not the happiest camper. Soccer is not a real sport. Yes, it is. It's a great sport. But yeah, all of my friends that are Messi fans have been trolling me, and I'm not happy about it. Anna, see the fight? What fight? Is there like a boxing thing that I'm not aware of? Patrick T, thank you for the super chat. Which email address for the change? That's starwarsgirl@gmail.com. Just put Indiegogo email or address change. I will fix that for you. If you know your backer number, that would help me even more, but it's not necessary. I can, yeah. Actually, look that up for me, because unless your name is that you backed with, Patrick T, it'll be hard for me to match it. Christopher Prophet, thank you for the super chat. I don't remember your answer last night as to whether or not you got the box with your Red Sonja cosplay. I was getting kind of drunk. I haven't opened any of my boxes from my P.O. box, but I did get a bunch last time I went. I'm going to my P.O. box again tomorrow. So if I haven't gotten it yet, I'll pick up whatever boxes are there tomorrow. And which one? I haven't opened any of the boxes, obviously, because I've I do P.O. box unboxing streams, so you'd see if I had opened it already. But thank you in advance, Chris. I'm excited to see what this looks like, and also low-key terrified. Alrighty. I think that's about good for now. I wonder if Peaches is still sleeping. Alrighty, time to actually start painting. So guys, if you haven't smashed the like button, please do so. Where's that paintbrush I like to use to draw these out? I got a random comment on one of my painting videos, and it was like, oh my god, look, you're tracing. And I'm like, you literally watch me draw it in this time lapse. I was like, this just shows people don't watch things. Some people are never satisfied. Rowan Mickens, thank you, Shabet. Anna, is Cecil going to have Peaches as a guest on Jack's show? No. No, I keep those two separated. Thank you for the super chat. Alrighty. It did it. Let's see. Oh, just popped my neck. It felt so good. Goldie Hawn is trending on Twitter. Oh no. Goldie Hawn is getting canceled because she spoke out against masks. All the weirdos are coming for her. Poor Goldie. Did you guys see Neil Young is back on Spotify? feel like I should talk about something, but I don't know what to talk about. So I've been wanting to do this project for like a year. It's not like a project, it's just kind of like a film project where I wanted to take like an actor or an actress and watch every single thing they've ever done from the beginning of their career to either the end of their career if they've already passed on, or like where they are now, and like see their evolution. And so I was thinking, I was like, oh, maybe I'll do like that with Christopher Lee, because I was talking about this with Cecil, because we wanted to do a show where we talked about like movies and stuff. And he's like, you picked the guy that's got like 60 years worth of like freaking movies to watch. And I was like, yeah, but that would be cool to watch. I don't know. Let's see. I think that would be fun. It's like, it's not like I picked Michael Caine, who's been in like 1,000 movies, you know? But then I was, what was it? I needed to watch Rosencrantz and something, fuck whatever the other guy's name, Gildan something, are dead. And then I was like, oh, Gary Oldman's in this. I love Gary Oldman, and I've seen a lot of his movies. And I was like, oh, maybe that's like somebody that I could watch all of his films. And I was like, I could do a live stream after I watch each movie and like talk about it. I don't know. I want to like watch older stars, you know? And I kind of wanted to get into like older movies. I was like, I could do like Jack Nicholson, like watch all of his movies. That'd be a fun time, I think. I like Jack Nicholson. Matt G, thank you for yeah, watch Leaves films. You have to watch episode 2 and 3. Thank you for chat. Lee has 282 acting credits on IMDb. Not all of them will be individual features, but that's an F load of movies regardless. Yeah, see, and then I was like, oh, maybe I'll like start with the classic like Laurence Olivier. Or like Kirk Douglas or Paul Newman or something like that. I found that I enjoy older movies much more than I enjoy modern movies, or much more. Did I say that correctly? And then I was like, maybe I'll just watch all the Hammer films again. Borgport, thanks for that. Anna, watch the new South Park episode on HBO Max if you can. They talk about Lord of the Rings and kind of makes fun of the Amazon version. Oh, okay, cool. That'll be fun. It'll be fun to check out. Thanks for the heads up, Borgport. Also, I got yours and Witten's Doppelganger's Eye, so they have been added to my list. Oh, goodness. All of the colors. My favorite South Park episode was the Witch Cat episode. I haven't seen very many South Park episodes. I remember the first one I ever watched, though, my friend's like, he was watching like the Christmas specials or something. And then I was watching the Christmas one with the critters. And where they're like, praise Satan, she's going to give birth to the Antichrist. And so the one dude's got to learn how to give abortions. Or he's got to kill like the mountain lion that comes down and eats the Antichrist every year from the Satan critters. And I was like, what the fuck? That was my introduction to South Park. My friend was just watching and just like laughing at my reaction because I was like, what the hell? So I was like, oh, critters. And then like the mountain lion that he kills the baby mountain lions. They're like, why'd you kill our mommy? And I was like, oh no. Gosh, that was a long time ago. It's crazy how up to speed on everything South Park is. Do they like write these episodes as the news is happening? They're pretty on top of it. It seems like. Let's see. Another paintbrush. Alrighty. Let's try out some of my new paintbrushes now. Anna, share. Share what? What do I need to share? Like a story? What's going on? I know you want to know which cookies you like most. Chocolate chip. You know what I do when I make cookies is I buy sugar cookie dough and I put raisins in them and then I bake them. My favorite cookies are not ones you can buy at stores. My mom makes persimmon raisin cookies. They're so good. Super moist. I love persimmon cookies, but chocolate chip's good. I like the really soft, chewy ones. Like I love chewy cookies. I don't like the dry, chalky kind of cookies. But I like chocolate chip. I'll eat oatmeal raisin. Usually I tend to just pick out all the raisins because I like raisins. But yeah, I like sugar cookies. Oh, you know what I like, and they're really bad for you, are those they're like sugar cookies, but the ones with like the thick frosting, and they come out with them like for different colors for every holiday. Fucking love those things. The frosted cookies. Oh, they're so good. I also like what is it called? Oh, I just was getting Thin Mints from the Girl Scouts. There's one Girl Scout on my block, so I was buying Thin Mints. Those are good. But yeah, the more moist the cookie is, the more I like it. As long as there's no nuts in cookies, I do usually tend to eat them. I don't like nuts. They always put nuts in cookies and in baked goods, and I hate that. I'm like, you just ruined this perfectly good cookie. Could you imagine making this beautiful, delicious cookie and putting nuts in it? How disgusting. Oh, I have a friend joining me.
Hey, what's up, boss?
Hi. How long you been in the back room?
3 seconds.
Oh, okay, cool. Don't leave you hanging. What's up? Want to say hi to everyone?
Yeah, hey everybody. It's Sean Fingetti of Sean Fingetti Art, and I'm working on a sketch for Narwhal right now.
Oh. Oh, the Nosferatu book?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. That reminds me. He asked me about that.
Eye looks amazing. Looks great.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Trying to get faster at these. I feel like I've just gotten slower because I spend more time on them. How's your book coming along? How many pages have you got done?
It's going great. I'm about halfway done, so I'm moving into the second half of the book, and yeah, it's been crazy. It's been a crazy couple of weeks, you know. How's everything going with your stuff?
It's been dragging along due to embargoes and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
my end of it was done back in December. So it's literally just been waiting for stuff that's been stuck on a boat.
Oh, yeah.
But that it got the binding arrived on Friday, and so they started assembling it, and so hopefully those calendars are done this week, and they ship them to me. But that's the part of the process that I feel like takes the unnecessarily longest. You would think it'd be actually getting the work done, but it's not. It's the printing and all of that good stuff. Have you already found like a printer for your book and all of that?
Yeah, I'm using the same printer that I used for Art Book 1 and Art Book 2. So that way, I mean, I've kind of worked with them before and I know how to, deal with them. But it's, you know how it is. I mean, the more I talk to people, I'm getting more information of different things we can do. And that's the cool thing about hanging out with artists, right? Someone's always got something great to share. But man, you're doing some killer stuff. That is beautiful.
Thank you. I wanted to get faster and, just practice more because I found that whenever I was painting, eyes would always take me the longest. Eyes and noses. But
did
noses
you study
mostly
academic painting in college?
I did, yeah. Yeah, I have a degree in, what does my degree say? Art and science, but I majored in concept art for 3D gaming and animated movies and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah. Fun stuff. And in case anybody doesn't know, this is the first time he and I have hung out. So it'll probably be a getting to know you stream. Is that just a comp for it? Or are you doing a trading
Yes,
card or
this is just a
something?
comp. Yeah, this is on Strathmore toned. What is it called? Tan paper, and I'm just doing a comp to see if he's game for it. I'm assuming you know the movie because I know you're a horror movie fan. I think you are anyway.
I am a monster fan, but I am a total
Oh,
scaredy cat, and I can't really watch scary movies because I will get nightmares.
oh, jeez. Yeah, it's well, this movie isn't too bad. 1922. There wasn't as many jump scares, but it's I mean, the thing for me about it is that I'm trying to come up with. Narwhal was talking to Gabe over on his channel about the whole
Mhm.
idea and the his take on Nosferatu and how he saw the character, and he just talked about this really beautiful idea involving how the moon to Nosferatu, who will die if he experiences sunlight, is kind of like a reminder of something that he's been alive so long he doesn't remember the sun. And just hearing him talk about it was just so poetic and so great. I wanted to do something that was kind of a nod to that. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see if he likes
Ah,
it.
it looks cool already.
Oh, thanks. Oh, come
Yeah.
on. No. I've seen you
What?
talk about art before. I'm teasing.
No, I mean I actually like it. If I didn't, I would have
I
said
know, I
something much
know.
different.
I've seen it. It's like
Yes.
trials of life.
I always found that like the thumbnails and that like the outlines for stuff is always more interesting because you get to see how a person thinks things out
hmm
visually.
Yeah, the sweet science.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
you studied illustration too, right? So I mean, you know all about that. It's
Yeah,
just we sit here and
I
read the little
liked
thumbnails.
learning about it, but I do not like doing illustration.
hmm
Yeah, I found I've much more enjoyed doing like just the rough layouts and the other like nitty gritty stuff. I'm like, somebody else can do that. I don't got time for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I like painting, so that's kind of what I stick to. And you're doing your whole book in watercolors and inks, right?
hmm Absolutely. Yeah, I'm doing the whole thing in using Faber-Castell Pitt pens and then using these opaque watercolors called Pelican Pan Opaque and watercolor set. And then I'm doing white gouache to bring out some of the highlights because it's got a better opacifier in it. But
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm terrified of oils. So I watch people like Cesar Santos. I mean,
Oh
that's the
yeah.
thing. I was curious about how things were on the West Coast because I feel like most of us go to art school thinking we're going to learn academic painting, and then we end up jumping up and down and primal screaming on newsprint. So I was curious if your school had more of a uh, more of a like technical side to it, or if you've you know had the academic
Uh,
thing.
well, so there was a lot. So I went to Academy of Art University in San Francisco,
Uh huh.
and so I made sure to take the studio classes where you get into actually oil painting or because I did a lot of newsprint. Like the first couple years, everything I drew was on
Sure.
newsprint, and you know how that stands the test of time and doesn't yellow at all or disintegrate.
Exactly. Yeah, doesn't get
So
destroyed.
not at all. Those drawings still look perfect, but yeah, I found that I actually enjoyed doing the painting stuff a little bit more as compared to some of the classes. I felt it was just going over people's homework, and I was like,
hmm
this doesn't help me at all. Like
Yep.
I was watching your stream and you were talking about how you can teach somebody perspective in like
Yeah.
5 minutes. I'm like, they never did that. You would
Nope.
just show up to class and it'd be like an environment design class where you kind of really need to know perspective, and they'd be like,
hmm
all right, here's your homework assignment, come back next week. And it's like they wouldn't even teach us how to do it. So I'm like, you want me to draw this environment, but you gave me
hmm
absolutely no tips on how to do it.
Yeah.
So
I went to one of the most prestigious art colleges in the country, Rhode Island School of Design. So I was able to
mm,
learn perspective from a comic book artist in Atlanta because they didn't teach us any of that stuff in art school. So let me just take a shot at that because it drives me nuts. I was the teacher when I taught there for about 15 years, and I was the teacher who came in, and my attitude was, I'm going to make sure these students don't have the experience I had. I went down to Atlanta and a comic book artist, my mentor, who's a brilliant artist, goes, "Are they teaching you any art at art school?" It
I
was
know, right?
so brutal. I mean, he absolutely Dutch uncled me and got me going. And he goes, "The fact that you don't know perspective and you're a sophomore going into your junior year is appalling. I'm going to teach it to you in 5 minutes." And so, yeah, that's where so much of my teaching came from, was from that guy. At art school, it was a lot of, we sat around. If people were to look in the window at the average art school and say, hey, what are they learning here? People would go, learning how to talk.
Mm-hmm. Well, I took I took a couple 3D classes, and so I would just cheat when I did perspective. I would just get us, a bunch of shapes in,
Mm-hmm.
Maya or in ZBrush, and then just put them there, and then I could see that just as reference. I remember
Yeah.
one of my classes, they're like, "Oh, just download this one app so that way you can see the human figure and you can just move it on this like app on your phone, so you don't even have to learn perspective. You can just basically copy whatever pose you put this 3D model in." I was like,
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't help me. What if I don't have a phone?
Exactly.
you know?
Oh, yeah. I think that, it's the things that we learn when people give. I was watching this video. I've tried to paint, and I've painted portraits before, and I've done things like that, but none of which I really learned in art school. And the thing that was interesting to me was I was watching that guy. I think I may have mentioned him on one of the streams when you were in, but Scott Waddell. And he was the person who got me to realize, put the reds, put reds into your shadows when you're doing flesh tone. And
Mm-hmm.
I just, I had been told, and I had students tell me when I started teaching that in college, well, my professor says you put the cools into, the highlights. I'm sorry, the warms into the highlights and the cools into the shadow. And it was my last year. I was really tired at that point. And I said to them, I go, well, I had my artwork up, and I said, who do you want to paint like?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's not a hard sell when you show, and and I'll keep it all covert for her embarrassment's sake. But a certain person who lives in my house, a certain teenager who lives in my house, saw your eye paintings and thinks you are the cat's pajamas. And
Oh,
one of the things about that is that it's because when you see someone with actual skill and actual ability, you don't it's not a hard sell. You go, wow, that's good, period. Full stop. It's aesthetic.
oh, thank you. I feel like I cheat because I use magic paintbrushes. Like I found it was an accident. I bought this paint palette and I was because it had like detail brushes for hair. And so if you see this one that I have up here on the screen,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
so this one just blends paint seamlessly.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
so yeah, I picked it up one day and I was using it to do something and it did the wrong thing. And I was like, oh my God, I could totally use this. And so it just helps me with cutting my time in like
No,
way more than
obviously, anybody has that brush. They're going to paint exactly like you. Piece of cake.
in here.
It's the
Well,
secret to
no,
the
but I
brush.
mean, it does help me paint faster.
No,
But
no, I know. I'm just messing with you. But I mean, do you know James Gurney's stuff?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Dude,
You know how he
he's
breaks down
great.
how he does everything, and you go, why didn't I think of that? Only like the way he uses magnets for his palette and all this different stuff. I always tell people, I go, that's what nerds do. We look up how people do this stuff, and we try to learn new things. We experiment with our brushes. Everyone else is like, this doesn't work, and we're like, I got to make this work. It's just too funny.
Yeah.
Let's
Well,
see here. Where's
there's
my?
this great artist that I was watching. His channel, it's called Andrew Tischler. Have you ever
Oh, Andrew
seen
Tischler's
his?
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He just put out this video of him painting a portrait of his wife, and he's
Mm-hmm.
done that technique that I've never used where he does grays and then he does glazes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I've never tried that just because I feel like that would just irritate me doing like a whole painting and then having to go over it again with color.
Yeah. Have you seen
But I
his
know that a lot.
waves?
Oh my God. Yeah. Can't even attempt to do that. I'm like, oh.
Oh man, he's amazing. It's rough.
If
Oh.
anyone wants to check out a fantastic oil painter, his name is Andrew Tischler here on YouTube. He's got an Instagram as well, and he has some of the best art videos I think on this platform. He is
Mm-hmm.
absolutely fantastic. You guys should check him out. He also has a podcast where he interviews like other artists, and it's fascinating the stuff that you'll learn from some of these people. I was actually to get back into like shadows, like with warm tones in them. I used to hate it when I had a cool light with,
Mm-hmm.
warm shadows. And ever
Yeah.
since I started this project, I like it so much more.
Isn't
And
it
so I
funny?
posted up on Twitter. I was like, which one do you guys prefer, when it's like a warm light with cool shadows, or, you know, a cool light with warm shadows? And a lot of people liked the cool lighting with the warm shadows more. I think people are just afraid to put reds in shadows because there's that idea in their head that reds can't be dark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the color palette that the rock stars use, the red green, because you know their value is so close. I remember someone explaining to me that the reason why all of Norman Rockwell's work, no matter how sweet it was, had gravitas to it, is because he was a red green person. And then I went back and looked at all of his stuff, and I was like, oh my god, I'm just
It's like,
blind.
yeah, I see it now.
Ugh. Yeah, my mentor said something really funny to me about this NC Wyeth. He goes, for people in the chat don't know, NC Wyeth is like one of the most important rock star illustrators of all time. Illustrated Treasure Island, Robin Hood, Last of the Mohicans, and he said to me, he goes, I think he's in his late 50s, I think now, and he said to me, I kept thinking the older I get, eventually I'm going to look at NC Wyeth and people like that and go, oh, I get it. But actually, the older I get, the more impossible their stuff seems. The more I know, the more insane it is. And it's like, yep, that's how it is.
That's how I feel like when I look at Frazetta's stuff. I'm just, there's so many colors on his palette. And when you go to like try to emulate one of his paintings or try to just mix a palette, and also he would go back and mess stuff up. So, well, make it better, I should say, not mess it up. But just
I've
looking
never
at it, like when you
tried to emulate Frazetta. No.
Really?
No, I'm kidding. I'm a total Frazetta. Like my studio mate introduced me to him, and for the longest time I didn't get it, and I was like, "Oh my god, how did I live without this?" So go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh no, you're fine. No, one of my friends in college, I helped them out with one of their I forgot what their assignment was, but I helped them out with theirs, and so they had all of Frazetta's paintings and like sketches on a flash drive, and they gave it to me. So I was like, that was such a major help when I was doing like my color theory classes and stuff like that.
Well, if you still have it, I just want you to know I've always admired you as a person. Yeah, man, I love that stuff. I zoom in on that stuff and
give you a WeTransfer.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, there's those people who are just magicians. You know, they're just absolutely magicians when they work. And I saw some originals of his because the lead guitarist of Metallica owns a lot, 3 or 4 Frazetta originals, and they had it at a show at the Peabody Essex Museum, as they say in New England. And I had my nose to the glass as far as you can before security tasers you. And what got me about his stuff is how delicately it's painted, which is so strange. You know, it's just got these really graceful dabbing brushstrokes, and it's amazing stuff. Man, that guy, what a painter.
Russell Hall, thank you. Did you decide to outsource this month's portrait? No, I haven't. I just haven't decided who I'm going to paint. So I have this New Year's resolution where I was going to paint one portrait every month.
Mm-hmm.
And it is now February 13th, and I have not painted a portrait this month.
Yeah, well, I was going to diet. So here we are.
Yeah.
No. How soon are we into this year? It's like, shit. You got to get to it.
I know. It's almost March. It's like,
yeah, I like to fail early. Saves me the disappointment down the road.
Well, I got one done. So, I mean, that's more than I got done last year, I think.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, it's, no, in all honesty, 2021 was such an amazing year for, you know, us, and making the decision to kind of go all in and, you know, crowdfund my first comic after the 2 art books. And so I have no complaints about 2021 or 2022, man. I feel like everybody who is trying to do, you know, work outside of the mainstream, but kind of do great stuff and put it out there, because, you know, it's, instead of complaining, just making things, has been doing great stuff, and yourself included. And I love to see it. It keeps me inspired.
Yeah, what was this one guy? He's on Twitter. I don't know if you know who he is. Zuby.
I know.
Yeah, he tweeted the other day about, he's like, oh, everyone's just been complaining, no one's been creating anything. And I'm like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Do you know how many eyes I painted during this lockdown? Don't tell me that, people haven't been creating things.
Yeah. And craft is to me my sort of refuge from the madness. Like however everything else goes, when I sit down and it's just, me and the paint, and especially, and also when I do live streams with people, it's just when I'm painting, it's just a very centering thing. I mean, that's why I love making artwork so much. It's just kind of very peaceful, thing. Like, because I'm so
Oh, yeah.
focused, it's like a one-pointed meditation. And I think that's why painting eyes, which is that way we connect with people, is one of those things to where it's actually like you're spending time trying to bring about what that thing is, and it's calming, and it's a great way to work.
Well, it's interesting, just like because you think an eye,
Mm-hmm.
how are you going to be able to paint 200 different ones? And it's crazy just how subtle the changes are in each person, but how much of a big difference it makes once you're done doing it.
Yep.
So it's been, a learning experience for me, but it's also been fun.
Oh yeah, it's
I
been
was at
fun.
Inglorious Rex.
Oh yeah. I'm doing a painting for fun of Inglorious Rex because whenever I'm not painting, or I need to just kind of just do something other than work on the storytelling, I'll paint a character, and I just have been painting CG characters because it's kind of a promise I made to myself, where I'm like, I'm not gonna paint anything that personally, that isn't owned by, the creators or isn't a part of this stuff. It's just me being a whatever pain in the ass. I don't know, but I love doing this stuff, and I love kaiju, and that's what a lot of my work early on got noticed for was painting monsters. Who would have thought, right? And it's it's a crazy way of working, but I love Shane's stuff. I think he's just got such a great storytelling quality, and of course Yanzi and him are hilarious. So gotta love it.
Yeah, I was actually shocked at how much I enjoyed Shane Starlight Cat's book. At first, I was like, "This is going to be silly, like a silly kids book," and I'm like, "Oh no, it's like kind of Star Wars with cats meets Power Rangers and all of that." But I usually don't like big like kaiju or like monster stories.
Mm-hmm.
But after reading the Starlight Cats one, I'm like, I think that this one is going to be really good, especially since he's got all the stuff with like the brother and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm drawn more to like emotions in storytelling as compared to like big epic fight scenes. Like I don't mind big epic fight scenes, but there has to be some kind of stakes there, like in Rocky.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
So
I'm
you
excited
didn't
to see
know if
what
you'd
they
be
do.
interested in a book that was about cats, sort of, but like Star Wars? Is that what you're saying?
Oh no, I
I
thought it was
was
gonna be too.
laughing. I'm just
I
kidding.
thought it was gonna be too little kitty for me.
Yeah. No. I slept on that book, and as much as I love the idea of buying the reprint of it, I can be a pain with my comics. I like to buy comics with the cover of the person who did the interior work, which I know is obnoxious, but I can't wait to buy that book because everyone's reaction tells me how good the story must be. Because people were like, "What is this?" And he proved them wrong. It's a great book. Everyone seems to love it.
Yeah. Well, I think if you read the supplemental story, that made
Mm-hmm.
me enjoy the main story more.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
mean,
the
like I
sibling.
said, Inglorious Rex is going to be my first of their stuff, so I'm
Oh,
really excited to see what I make of it because I love his work. I mean, I know I'm going to get my money's worth with the artwork no matter what. So
I know Shane's a dork, but he's very talented.
yeah, that's why I love being here because that's kind of definitely where I fit in. Like I watch him. I love that he loves boxing. I'd love to talk with him about boxing at some point because I'm a massive boxing fan. But I will say this though, it's the thing about having a skill or a craft like all of us have is it's nice to be able to talk to people who know what it is to just sit there for hours and do this stuff. It's a very
Yeah.
weird thing to do. It's like anything. It's very specific.
Well, it's funny because when people think, "Oh, it shouldn't take you that long," because watching
Mm-hmm.
what I'm been painting for an hour and 50 minutes, but or
Yeah.
maybe even less. I think I've actually been painting only for an hour, but they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it only took you an hour," and I was like, "Okay, that's for one tiny little painting. Imagine doing a giant one or doing
Yep.
an entire book."
Yeah. How good was
You,
Bob Ross? Like
oh my god.
seriously. I mean, I look at that stuff and I go, wait, he did that in 30 minutes? And people are like, well, he had another version of it off to the side. And I'm like, yeah, and give me 30 minutes to paint that painting looking at his. It's not going to go that fast. Oh, man. Guy was a magician.
Did you watch his documentary?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love Bob. You got to love Bob. He's so chill to paint to. Or whenever I'm doing stuff like this, I'll put him on.
It's just so depressing, though.
Yes. Yeah,
Everything that happened with him.
I get more depressed by Andrew Tischler, frankly, when I see him painting these waves. And so then I'm just going to go and paint the South Seas. Here it is. I'm like, I hate you, Andrew Tischler, but I love you. I bought his one of his videos where he shows his entire process. And
is it worth it? Because I've been debating on getting some of his portrait ones. Yeah,
it's worth it. Yeah, it's you.
How much extra
enjoy
content is there?
It's hours. It's like his whole process, and I can tell you honestly, after watching it, I now know how to do exactly. No, I don't. It's after watching it, I'm like, it's amazing. But there's not a lot of people, and you can tell he's the kind of person who does it, where they can walk you through, and he filmed his entire process. I think someone like you would absolutely love it. Like, I think it'd be food for your mind, because you just love stuff like that. You love detail, behind the scenes stuff, and getting the full story of how these things work. You dig it.
Yeah, I've been sitting on it. I had one of his tutorials in my cart for the longest time, and I should have bought it because it was on sale, and I didn't. Because I'm like, do I really want to spend like $200 on this tutorial? And I'm like, what if it's exactly what's on his YouTube channel?
Which one? Which one were you looking at? Because I don't think it was 200.
What I bought was the portrait packet.
Oh, the portrait. I buy them singles, so I don't buy the huge ones. But for portraits, if you want my opinion, if it's for the waves, I would absolutely buy one of his videos. If it's for learning how to paint a portrait or that kind of thing, his stuff is great. So Andrew Tischler, if by some chance you're out there, I love you. I'm not trying to lose a customer for you. But my guy is Cesar Santos, like hands down for portraits. Cesar Santos, and then someone you will learn very little from because he's a genius is I mean, you actually may learn more than me. I just may be too dumb for it. But not Andrew Tischler. God, what is his name? I can't believe I just blanked on it. He does. That'll come to me. But Cesar Santos, who's a Cuban American, I think he's out of Miami, academic painter.
I thought he was in New York.
Well, he may travel around a lot, but I think he came up in Miami. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Obviously, Thomas Kincaid, says Steven in the chat. Yeah, of course. Oh, jeez. Yeah, Thomas Kincaid.
Did you I don't know if you saw this. There's this YouTube like art project that was going around, and they were advertising as like the biggest artist collab on YouTube. And it's where they sent like this one canvas around to a bunch of different artists around the world, and they all added to this one painting. So it was like artists like 1000, Nerd Forge, Slew, and a couple other guys were graffiti artists. I wasn't too familiar with them, but I was watching it and I'm like, this would be so much, like, as much as I like pop art and stuff like that, I'm like, this would be so much cooler if it was like a fine art project, just seeing like that process.
Yeah, I think the level of intimidation at that point is so much more spectacular. Like, start with someone who's just an absolute beast and then pass it to the next person. It's like, oh no.
Could you imagine if they did that in CG, where we just took like a paper and sent it around to everyone, and everyone just adds whatever they want to it?
Absolutely. I think it'd be awesome. Well, you've got a whole bunch of different styles too. I've seen you do some cartooning and things like that as well. So you've got range. You can do everything from, realism and representational, like down to doing more cartoony stuff. And I think a lot of people actually have range in CG before I paint myself into a corner there. But I'd love to see, I'd love it to be on a sturdy enough material to where if you were going to oil paint onto it, you could, because you can draw on almost anything.
That's true. Yeah, that would be like the biggest hassle right there. I think everyone would just do like probably pen and ink if it was like CG stuff. But I was like, that would be fun to do with everyone. I just don't think everyone
would have fun. Kenneth Roquefort, man. If it goes to Kenneth Rocafort, you wouldn't be alone. If it goes to me, I would totally paint.
Oh
You
my
know, it could
gosh.
be a mixture.
Freaking Kenneth would just destroy. I love all of Kenneth's work. He's
Yeah,
so good.
you don't say, right? I'm the same way. I look at it and I go, people are like, if you could hire anybody to do an illustration of your character, who would you hire? What about Kenneth Rocafort? I was like, I'd never be able to draw my character again. I'd go,
I
it's
know,
not as
right?
good as Kenneth's. What am I doing?
I know. I haven't seen a single drawing of Kenneth that I didn't like.
Yep.
I'm just always blown away by all of his work.
Yeah, he's a rock star. He's amazing. He's just got fire in his hand, you know, it's just magic. But, you know, I always say that the thing about being around so many skilled artists, and it really is, it's the biggest blessing, I think, of my life in the last couple of years, but to finally have found so many creative people and so many people who are supportive of artists, you kind of start to realize that our metric for measuring ourselves is against some really heavy hitters. So it's kind of funny. If you can hang and do okay, you're probably pretty good. It's like, oh man.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. I'm like, I didn't even need to go to college. I could have just sat here and watched everyone draw and just learned from this.
Yep. And that's starting to happen, as you probably know, across the country. A lot of people are going off to art school and going, I learn more on YouTube. And that is
Well, that's
really
the thing.
going
You
to
don't
affect
even
them.
need to. If it wasn't for the people I met, I would have
Yep.
said art school is kind of a waste of my time.
Yeah.
Like, there was things that I think, what I was there for 4 years and I took, I guess, the entire curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, out of all of those years, there was probably maybe 9 classes that I actually needed that actually helped
Mm-hmm.
me.
Yeah.
And the rest were just a waste of my time and money.
Yeah. Well, that's a better average than I had. I'd say there were probably 4, maybe 4 or 5. And that's a very terrible average, because you take 3 studio classes a semester, 2 semesters a year for 4 years. You should have more than 4 people that you think you kind of got something from. And, you know, I think that with YouTube, you really don't get away with, you know, as I always say, walking back and forth in a classroom with your hands behind your back, you know, pontificating. It really is nut up or shut up. You know, for someone to sit down and paint in front of their audience and say, this is what I do, you can't fake that. You know, you can't fake having skill. And I like being around other people who have skill. I like watching YouTube videos where people show off their skills, you know, whether it's, you know, the Townsends and their 18th century living and building and cooking channel, which I love that channel. You know, Andrew Tischler stuff comes to mind, Cesar Santos, Ethan's drawing streams, you know, anytime, Michael Bancroft streams. I love watching people when they're working, because it puts me in a good state of mind when I'm working, you know. So when I saw you were streaming, I was like, oh man, I gotta go. I was first I was like, I'll just watch it. And I thought, no, come on, man. It's like,
Yeah, come on, hang out. I feel
yeah,
like
no. Well,
it
I had
goes
to
much
tell my wife
faster
she
when.
couldn't watch Seinfeld, you know, or it'd affect the Wi-Fi. So that's a tough. I mean, you gotta love somebody to turn off Seinfeld so they can stream.
Oh
No.
no. Oh, you got the same Wi-Fi problem that I do then.
Yep. Yeah, and the kids are asleep. That's why it's working, because they'd be like, no.
They're like, heck no, Dad. Is that why you stream late at night?
Yeah, that's why I've also been doing mornings, because thankfully they're teenagers. But yeah, that's why I stream late at night, because everybody's off. Everybody's off the Wi-Fi. But also, I don't know, I work better when everyone, like, I've got everybody situated. Everybody's asleep. Everybody's in bed. Don't have to see if someone's going to need me, or, you know, ask me a question about something. And so I'm just one of those people who just likes to be in isolation when I work.
I think most artists are like that. It's like you got to be alone with your thoughts.
Yep.
No distractions.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, you can, you know, talking and painting is the only reason I know how to do this is because I taught for 18 years, you know, and it was like, I had to. People ask you questions like, why are you doing that? And at first,
So I just watch, you'll understand in a minute.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Last stream, one of my students was in the stream, and I did this thing where I painted out this entire sketch, because I wanted to throw a dark ground over the entire thing, and then pull out the highlights. So I'd already sketched it, but then I just obliterated it with dark paint. And before the shift, people were just like, no, you know how it is. But that's the fun stuff we do, right? That makes it fun when people see it, because they're like, you just destroyed it. It's like, yeah, it's all part of the show. It's going to be all right.
I think it's funny when somebody was watching me paint their eye and they're like, my eyebrows aren't gray and my skin color's not that color. I'm like, just wait until it's done. You'll understand.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Having people watch you in process painting them. Oh, what a nightmare. What a nightmare.
Well, it's funny because they have all these complaints, or I guess maybe not complaints, but like suggestions, or like, why are you doing that? Why did you pick that color? That doesn't look right. And I'm like, trust me, it will look right when it's done.
Yeah. Do you know that John Singer Sargent quote about painting portraits?
Yes.
Where he's which one is it now? You might have to know a new one. I don't know.
Fuck.
No, don't worry.
Is it the one about like strokes? How it's like just it looks like nothing at first, and then once you take a step back, it's there.
Oh, please, I'm not that profound at this hour. No, he had a quote that I always loved. He goes, "I'm a portrait artist, which means I paint faces where there's something funny about the mouth." Because every time you show a portrait to somebody, they're like, "There's something funny about that eyelash. There's something funny about that mouth. I don't know, something weird about the nose." And funny that one of the greatest portrait painters of all time, that was his definition of what he did. And he also had that great quote that there's two people responsible for every great work of art: the artist, and then the person who hits them over the head with a board and stops them before they kill the painting.
Yeah.
And I think that's definitely one. That's a good one. But yeah, your eye paintings have just been really great, and I'm excited to see them. I saw it because I knew you for your Star Wars stuff, obviously.
I'm just excited to put them up on a wall and like have them all together.
It's gonna look
great. I kind of had that up on like my easel. I just had a like one of those push pin boards, and I just put them up just to see how they all were looking. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait. Because a lot of people were like, why are you painting that? This is gonna be weird. You're Illuminati. And I'm like, no, it's gonna look cool. Trust me.
Just say you are. It'll make things so much cooler. Yeah, I am Illuminati. You got me. I mean, that's the fun thing, for me about being in CG. I just, people, are you a white nationalist? Yep, you got it. I finally broke that glass ceiling. You caught me.
It's like, you can't read my name, can you?
Yeah, I know. It's like, it was shoot, I can't read my name. If someone had handed me my birth certificate when I was 20, I'd be like, what is this? No one could name me Steven. I named my son. My son was born 2005. And actually, my son and daughter were both born 2005. And I named my son. Yep, twins. Yep, fraternal twins. And no, everyone suggested that I name them that. And I said, I do not want them to come after me. I did see the Star Wars movies, so I know that eventually those kids come to destroy you. So you got to be careful if you name them that. And but it was interesting. I was sitting there, and I my wife's like, "What do you want to name him?" And I just looked in a baby book, and I was like, the most popular baby name of 2005. And she's like, why is that? And I said, well, I want him to have a keychain.
Was it Emily?
No, no, but that was a popular one. No, with his, it was, well, I can't tell you what it is because I don't want to dox him that much. You know? I'll dox him. I'll dox him. At some point, he's going to dox himself. I mean, he's at that age. He's just going to be like, yeah, I'm the kid of this idiot. It's got to happen sooner or later. But no, I mean, it's a funny thing because, when I think about when people look at the stuff they do, I've been to shows where people paint eyes, and the thing about it is, and about painting eyes, is that it's an exercise that people do that because it is so complicated to get life into an eye that you can't fake that. It's the human interface. It's how we interface with each other, is eye to eye. And so when people look at an eye and it's a great painting of an eye, to me, it gets extra points. It's like painting children. They all look like Winston Churchill. It's a nightmare. It's like,
oh, no, I did this one painting. I got my boyfriend's brother for Secret Santa one year. And I was like, I usually just draw people pictures or paint them pictures for Christmas, especially when it's like random family members that I don't know what to get them.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I'll paint him like portraits of his daughters because he's got 2 little girls.
Sure.
And I sent Cecil the picture, and I was like, okay, if somebody drew you this picture of your kid, would you like it? And he's like, these look like Annabelle. And I was like, oh, Jesus.
Oh, it's such a nightmare.
Pain in the butt.
They are the worst to paint. And that's the thing, too. Oh, gosh, you want to hear something funny about Cecil? So my kids have watched a few, dare I say, Comicsgate streams and different streams. So we came to the table. I think maybe it was for Thanksgiving or something. We all came to the table and we were there, and I said, hello, everybody. And my kids, in Cecil's voice, both went, hello. And I went, oh my God. It's the end of days. But yeah, I know. Well, it's, I don't know. Well, actually, you've probably been around him when he's been, with his nieces or something, or kids or whatever. I know he's got some kids he hangs out with every now and again. But he strikes me, and actually, no, I think Ethan said this about with Ava. I bet you $1 million kids just see him and think, this is the greatest thing I've seen today. He's probably that guy. Oh man.
Somebody made like a bunch of magnets, refrigerator magnets of like the different personas of Cecil, and so I had all of those up on my fridge. And one day my stepdaughter was like, Anna, who's Cecil? And I was like, how do you know that name?
Mm-hmm.
Because I know she doesn't watch my streams, and she's just like, oh, it's on the fridge. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, no, when someone says who's Cecil, I think the answer is exactly. You figured it out. Who is Cecil? Well, I'll tell you, I was watching the streams you did with Jay, and God, what a cool guy he is. But going around the Harry Potter in Orlando.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm thinking of taking my kids there. My daughter really wants to go, but yeah, you guys made it look as fun as every other channel I watch where they go there. So did you love it?
Yeah. Oh my God. It was so much better than the one here in California. It's like actually bigger and whatnot. I would say just go when you know that there's not going to be lines, because that was the greatest part of it. Was there wasn't much of a wait time, and it was so much better than Disney. I feel like now all Disney has is they just have a giant walkway. It's like, here's a giant walkway. You have to walk a mile to get to one ride. Yep. And then that one ride, the line is like an hour to 2 hours long. And then you have to walk another mile to get to the other ride. And this is at Disney World. And so I was like, not impressed. Disneyland's a little bit different since everything's kind of closer because it's smaller.
I've been going there. That was one of my favorite places in the world as a kid, was Disney World. So I've been going there forever. And the last time I went there, the quality had dropped so much, and this was a long time ago. This was like when my kids were 10, I think. And we went there, and I just said to them, like, they were charging like for every little. I mean, it's not like you go there and think, well, this is a thrifty idea, but when I went there, I was like, they used to make it feel like you paid for it, so you had a great experience. And I think exactly what's happening with CG, exactly what's happening with those of us who are, Eric July and who are doing this stuff, is the same thing that happened at Disney. They started not respecting their creative people as much, and they went over to Universal. They were like, fine. They were able to be bought away, and I think it's going to be really hard for them to recover, because you can just see where the greatest minds in theme park design are right now, in my opinion, and that's Universal. Because that stuff, that everything I've seen, there's this Resort TV One. I don't know if you've ever seen their channel, but I watch them for cool theme park stuff, and it's just a chill thing to watch while I paint. And the stuff they show of the Harry Potter world, I'm like, this is what Disney used to be. This is amazing.
Well, yeah, they actually give people what they want, whereas Disney is just like, how can we make as much money off of each person as possible? Yeah,
it's kind of a funny thing, isn't it? I mean, it's to me, the way is to give people what they want, but they don't seem to see that. It's like, I've come to Harry Potter world. Okay, well, this is going to be now the story of not Harry Potter. Like, that's what Disney does. Like, what do you think?
Well, even like this little the Hagrid ride, like at the end, there's a surprise. You get to see like a unicorn and a baby unicorn. Yeah. And I was like, I wasn't even expecting that. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's a baby unicorn. And so it's just like that little, even though it's not in the movies, but because that does exist in the universe, they're like, oh, this is something cool that once you're done with this awesome roller coaster, it'll be this little surprise at the end. And I swear, everyone on that ride, every time I've ridden it, everyone's like, oh, look at the baby unicorn.
Who doesn't My daughter watched it on YouTube, and same reaction. She just was like, we have to go on that ride. There's a baby unicorn at the end. And it's just, an idea that's time has come. And again, if people, I always say this, that here's my challenge that I would have, and I know Ethan's got his own take on unicorns, but I've always said that the ultimate challenge in this world is to do a incredible, brilliant artistic work that is either a painting of a unicorn or a dolphin, because it is so hard to not paint something that's horribly cheesy, because they are in their perfection in their idea. You can't. It's not one of those subject matters that is that you can do that doesn't look incredibly hokey. And Harry Potter was able to, in that world, kind of give them a richer sort of quality. And so I guess when they could get away with it on that ride, and it's not copywritten. Yeah. John said, not sure I've heard EVS's take on unicorns. Yeah, look for the unicorn eraser on his Rainbow Brute campaign, and that's the EVS unicorn.
The unicorn lore of Ethan.
Yep, they don't make it. They don't do so hot in that world. But yeah, I mean, she flipped out when she saw that on the ride. So that's one of the things she's, and it's a fun ride. It's a great, what a ride should be: entertaining, enjoyable, and then it's got a fun little twist at the end that makes it that little extra, going that extra mile, as they say.
Well, it's funny because Harry Potter's been out, like the last movie I think came out 2011, 2012 or something.
Yeah,
and it's still as popular as it is, and it hasn't faded. I feel like people just get more and more excited every year to go to Harry Potter World. So
yeah.
And it's like, what does Disney come out with? Oh, what's up? I'm live right now. I'm gonna mute myself real fast.
Okay. And good morning, everybody. Hello to the chat. It's great to see you guys. I see some familiar faces in here, but for those of you guys who aren't familiar faces, I hope I'm not detracting from your enjoyment of an Anna painting stream. So, hope you're having a good one.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries.
Have to mute whenever the boyfriend comes in.
Oh,
trying as hard as possible not to get him doxxed.
Exactly, right? What a world.
I know. I wish everyone would just be cool, but not the world we live in.
Well, and I know you probably think the same thing, but, with most of our joyous experiences that we've had, if you can meet one or two cool people, you're doing pretty darn well, And I'm fortunate. My cool people runneth over, and especially in the last year, because I was backing Comicsgate books, and then I self-published 2 of my art books back, on Indiegogo, because I was following what was going on. I'm like, I'm not going to ever give money to a platform that deplatforms people who give me so much enjoyment while I make my work online. And then, but I wasn't, and I was talking to Ethan, and I was doing videos for him and things like that. But it wasn't until I was officially doing a book that I got to meet people like, Michael Bancroft and Rob Arnold, and, just met Narwhal, essentially had my first actual conversations. He's going to be coming on my stream to promote Nosferatu, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. And I'm like, there's an actual fellow nerd artist whose work I really respect. I just got Earthbound 1 and 2 yesterday live on stream. You can see a genuine nerdy reaction to getting books in the mail.
Did you read it yet?
No, not yet. The day I got it, I had just talked to Narwhal about doing some artwork for the book. So I threw myself into that as soon as I was off the stream. But I'm definitely going to read it, and I'm going to have my wife read it too, because I think it's something that she'd dig. She likes, Stephen King and science fiction and fantasy. She's a huge Star Trek fan. She introduced me to Star Trek. Yeah. She's like big time Next Gen and original series. We saw William Shatner in downtown Providence because we're out in Rhode Island, and
Lucky.
he was on stage. We didn't meet him, but he gave a talk after we watched Wrath of Khan on the big screen at a historic theater. It was awesome. Sorry.
You're fine. No, my friend Vic, he knows Shatner very well, and he did the whole Star Trek Continue show and whatnot. And so he recreated the Star Trek set from the original series, and it's in Georgia, and he has free tours. You should definitely take your wife there one of these times if you're ever in Georgia.
Well, sure. I mean, that would make for an exciting evening, I can tell you. Like the ultimate date, it's like, here you go, honey. I'm taking you to see. Oh my gosh, we saw the there was Star Trek the exhibit, I think it was, that was in New York on an aircraft carrier, and they had built a recreation of the Next Gen bridge there, And
Oh
I
my
was
God.
just like, oh my
She
gosh,
probably
she
lost her
loved that.
mind.
Oh my gosh, yeah. She's just like, we've gone to everything that we can get to that comes up here. We've gone to, but a lot of the biggest and best stuff, um, happens other places. And my friend, who is he's got a YouTube channel called The Choice Voice, but he does a Star Trek fan series called Starship Valiant. He's out in Oklahoma, and oh my gosh, my kids were so excited to see that I knew somebody who had done Star Trek stuff, and he's a good dude. I love Star Trek. It's a good thing to watch when you need some hope. Not the new stuff, of course, but the original stuff.
Are the kids Star Trek fans?
Yep, they beat us at original series trivia, which was disturbing. And my son's a 3D modeler. He does stuff in Blender. He actually is doing his first.
Cool.
He's 16, doing his first pro work right now. And
Wow, good for you.
yeah, he's it's a weird. You know how it is. Those of us who are weirdos and start doing this stuff young, it's like we love it. We just do it, and I'm really proud of him. He's great at it. But he was building starships and things like that, and showing me how they worked. And he's done a lot of open source game dev for flight simulator games and things like that. So, but yeah, he loves Star Trek and science. Yeah, it's weird. It's how it is. I mean, it's every now and again you find a kid where it's like you just sort of like, I'll put the right stuff in front of you and try to get you access to certain, like, Blender's a free software, obviously, but it's a lot of it's about just get out of the kid's way. He's rolling. Just let him go.
Does he use DAZ at all?
Okay, so when I said that he knows about this stuff, I didn't mean to imply that I myself, like, people are like,
so
oh, did you learn that
DAZ
from me?
is 3D models of like characters. So it's kind of a platform where people upload their models, and then there's some that are free and there's some that are obviously you pay for. But so if you are building like a set, or if you just need a fast like 3D character design, you can just go on DAZ and look at some of the free models that they have, and you can just have like, if you don't want to do like character sculpting, but if he's designing a spaceship but he just wants like a couple quick like aliens just to throw in, DAZ has that. And it's a free program to download and to use. It's just there's some things that you do have to pay for.
I'll have to tell him about that. I mean, I'm kind of worried because I sort of feel like it's going to be, Anna, you must understand, like me coming up to him. So have you kids heard of the rap? The rap that people are listening to? Like, whenever I'm like afraid, like when I learn something new, I'm kind of like another great moment. My daughter saw me doing a fun edit of Ethan and the Doja Cat thing.
Oh yeah.
And she was like, thought it was hilarious that I was doing something involving Doja Cat. Like, the embarrassment levels are, oh man, it's terrible. It's a terrible.
To be fair, I didn't even know who Doja Cat was until Ethan tweeted about her not going to her own concert. And that's how I learned who Doja Cat was.
That's how I learned too. And people just look at me like, my wife's a high school teacher, so even she was like, oh my God, I know what that is. So
one of the most famous singers right now or something.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Well, I think it's like the rap. I don't know if you know the rap. It's like that.
Oh yeah. I am not a fan of the rap.
Yeah. Well, Ethan is bringing the rap to the people. It's a massive.
So what is your book about? Is it like a werewolf story?
My book is about it's basically about a supernatural hero whose village and city and the place that he lives is essentially raised by a vampire and his followers. And he has got this very strange genetic quality that he cannot be turned into a vampire, and he can't run out of blood. So much like Conan in the John Milius Conan the Barbarian, they shackle the kid up and use him as a pony keg for most of his childhood. And then he ends up, there's a werewolf that is also being held prisoner in this place, and he gets himself freed, and he decides to kind of wage war against these people after they kind of do this kind of Lovecraftian ritual that gives them these powers. And the whole idea of the story for me, and the thing that I like about storytelling, is this: there's all these stories about people who go through, tough things, and then how it affects them, and they can't ever function again or whatever, that it's nihilistic, that people love. And one of my things about storytelling in my own life that's been inspiring is the idea of overcoming things. And so the character is very much about, it's a love letter to Hammer horror movies and that kind of fun stuff. But it's also about resilience is really, and what it takes to be a hero. So I'm really looking forward to getting it out to people. And he's raised by a werewolf. That was not an intentional pun, but much like Malin, raised by the wolves. There you go.
There's also that one TV show now called Raised by Wolves, right?
Yeah, there's that, and then of course, hats off to at least half of me, India, with Mowgli. Right? It's
Oh yeah.
the whole raised by the wolves. And he was also raised by what's his name? Louis Prima. All those great singers. But no, I mean, I always thought that I loved werewolves since I was a kid, and Lon Chaney werewolves. And when I was working on the story, I got the thing about doing stuff in CG is it kind of keeps you honest. And I found myself kind of going into certain tropes, and I'm like, why isn't there a strong, father figure? You know what I mean? If this character doesn't have a father in the normal sense, his father was killed when the place was attacked. And so for me, if I was to say if there's a story it can relate to, it's kind of like the first Blade movie. This is sort of like his Whistler, like the older grizzled, guy who's taking care of him, and he's on this quest because he's a little bit of a genetic anomaly. But it's largely I would say its influences. It's a little bit of got a little bit of Conan and a lot of Frazetta and that kind of thing. Just action and heroism and all the good stuff.
Is it like a one shot, or are you going to have multiple parts to it?
It's the way I'm writing the story is that it's going to be self-contained, but it's absolutely, I've got ideas for the next couple of books, but it's whatever people, if people want to support it. So let me see if I have, here's an example of trying to see if, here you go. So this is like the origin story sequence. So there's the kid sort of shackled up and being fed off of, and then there's the werewolf character imprisoned his hand. He's living off of the snakes, and then the werewolf or the vampire, who's like a Nosferatu character, who's basically stolen off these pages that are a little bit like. Have you seen Evil Dead 2, or any of those movies? So it's kind of like a book like that he's stolen some pages from. So he's kind of on the run from the proper vampires. He does this ritual that opens up this kind of third eye on this kid that they can't turn into a vampire. They can't bleed him out. So he wants to open up this doorway to this eye that will allow perception into that kind of other world. And then they drive a metal pin through his nose to keep it from continuing to open. So that's why he looks the way that he does. And
is that a vampire? Or is that the kid?
That's the kid grown up. And he's coming back to kick a little, and it's it's sort of, how these things work, right? Because you do the same thing. It's like it evolves, but it was influenced by my love of pulp and fantasy and the Shadow and H.P. Lovecraft. I don't know. I felt until I started finding the community of people on YouTube, I felt so artistically drained and trapped in the art and content I was seeing. I don't know if that makes sense, but I was really burned out, and when I started, I'm like, so yeah, there's a few pages I can't show because I'm like, oh, there's some nudity on that page. But, when I was coming up with the first page, of the story, and I was coming up with these characters, and they're opening a doorway right here. It opens sort of with an action scene where you've got a character who's opening a doorway to this other world. Let me zoom this out a little bit here because there's a lot going on this desk. And then I'm trying to bring into it, things I love, like Hound of the Baskervilles. So we've got this dog that he can travel between places with, and, maybe there's a little bit of Gothic Disney in there, love of castles and things like that. And, but the whole thing to me is like, it's like, a lot of us who like Lovecraft, and, I live in Rhode Island, Lovecraft's old stomping ground. And So, where's that page? I don't know if I'll be able to find it in my arthritic fumblings here. But yeah, there's a page of, showing the other world where they're trying to bring that creature through the door here. And the fun thing about it is that I basically treat it like, if I were to take all the aesthetics I love, which is Frank Frazetta, Tim Vigil, who I heard you name drop once, and I was like going, oh, cool, yeah, I know who Tim Vigil is.
Yeah, I'm sad that he had to stop using Instagram.
But, yeah. Well, his Patreon's pretty cool. It's it's intense, but it's
yeah, it's some of the stuff I was like, whoa, that was a little hardcore to pop up on my timeline right now.
yeah, it's one of those things, But he's the artist who got me to draw my first comic when I was 14. I mean, not personally, but I saw Grips, one of his first comics, and I went, I want to do that. I want to draw a black and white book. And the thing is that when I look at when I saw that, there's a lot of people in CG who know him and people who, talk about his stuff, but his brushwork, his ink brushwork, I thought was so amazing when I was a kid. I just loved that stuff. I love it. I mean, frankly, I love skill with anybody with skill. It's just so cool to see.
Yeah, I think when it comes to stuff like that, I hate just drawing like a black and white ink. Like, I like having color and I like building it up. So when I see somebody that does that and does it well, I'm like, okay, I admire this, not only for like the skill behind it, but because I hate doing that and this person loves doing that.
Well, yeah, that's the sign of, right, the more mentally healthy artists. They don't have to hate the stuff that they don't do or don't like to do, right? So many people are like, hate representational artists because they can't do it. And it's like, that's a weird way to live.
Yeah, it's like all those Tumblr artists. And I feel like a lot of the people that work in the mainstream right now, they can't draw, accurate anatomy. So they just do the typical, what the CalArts like cartoon with like the bean mouth and the big eyes.
Yep.
And I'm just like, I remember when I was a kid and all the TV shows, all the animation, like you knew exactly what character that TV show was from. Like if you just saw a random character from the background, because the art styles were so different. But now everything just looks the same and it's boring.
It is boring. I mean, that's the biggest thing about it, right? Art, I remember when someone was talking about what is the purpose of the work that we do. And I said, the purpose is aesthetic. And, the opposite of the word aesthetic is anesthetic. So it's one of them puts you to sleep and the other one wakes you up. And I see a lot of work that is anesthetic and not aesthetic. It just puts you to sleep,
Yeah. Or makes you just go, why?
That too.
Why has this been made?
Drives you to drink. Yeah, that's the other option. It's like,
well, no, it made me so mad when I saw the Snowflake and Safe Space stuff and all of those characters, because I'm like, he didn't even draw the legs right. Like, you could tell that the artist just got one of his drawings and then he just flipped it. But he didn't flip the legs. He only flipped like the torso. And I was like, what on earth are you doing? You are the official artist for like, what was that, Marvel? And that's what you're doing? It made me so angry.
It's starting to make me happier and happier, because the fact is that our ability to compete with these fools is all because of their self-inflicted wounds. They own properties that are known by everyone on the planet. There's no way you could come in with a new character if they were on their A game. It's like getting, in a situation where you've got to fight a prime Mike Tyson, and the first thing he does before he comes into the room is drain like 3 gallons of blood or something. You're like, okay, thanks, because you'd have killed me in 3 seconds. So that makes me actually think I could do this. And when people, how do I word it? When people can, there's this thing I used to talk about when I was teaching, because I was a college art teacher till, last year. I would talk to people. I said, your whole purpose as an artist is to develop unassailable skills. And when I look at that eye you've got painted there, that's unassailably good. It's
thank you.
Eye.
I always film a time lapse on my phone and then upload it onto my Instagram. That's what I'm doing right now.
Sorry, do you want me to kill time? I was waiting to see if you had something to say.
Oh, no, you're fine. No, I've just been trying to get this to upload. My internet has just been such crap lately. That's the one downside of everyone being home, is that everyone's on the internet.
Yeah, it's wild how we all sort of navigate this stuff. And you try so many different ways, right, to try to make it improve. And then you realize at the end of the day, no, it's just too many. It's too many of us. Like, oh, man. But yeah, guys, please hit the like and subscribe. I doubt that any of you guys who are true believers are not yet subscribed to this channel and have not yet hit the like button. But on the off chance some of you hate America, please do hit the like button on this. Because I need this stream to exist so that I have something to paint to. So that's how it is.
Well, luckily there's a 42 live streams now on my channel of me painting eyes. So
do you think I'm behind on my watching? Is that what the accusation is here? Because
no, I'm saying that there's plenty of content.
No, I'm just kidding. I've watched them. Yeah, while I work. Absolutely, they're great. Everybody, check them out.
I just wish this one would upload. Everyone, if you haven't already, go over onto my art Instagram and give it a follow. I'm uploading this damn time lapse as we speak, but as right now, you guys can see it's all pretty. It's all organized. All of the rows are perfect, and I'm about to screw it up with this new post. So if you guys want to see any of the other eyes that I have painted and see time lapses of it and see the progression, you know Graham Nolan. This is his eye right here.
Graham Nolan is awesome.
Yeah.
He does. He's not very, for me, he doesn't make me feel very body positive. But he's a tremendous talent, and what an amazing guy, too. What a good dude, too, as well. Love Graham Nolan. I just got his book. I got to get to reading, too, as well.
Here is the latest eye, everyone. Here is the time lapse. All of that into, 30 seconds? Or
beautiful.
1 minute and 3 seconds. Put the link. I was telling you earlier in the stream, I was like, somebody left me a comment on it. They're like, you traced this. And I'm like, you can see me draw it in the video.
Well, I mean, the other answer to that is, of course, well, try tracing it and doing this.
Exactly.
Drew Struzan uses a projector. I've used a projector. It doesn't turn out looking like Drew Struzan, though. It's odd how that works. Oh, that's awesome. So good, man. So good.
Quality just dropped. And you know what? Everyone's going to be on the internet, too, today because of the Super Bowl. I don't even know what time that starts. Anna makes me feel better about my OCD. Oh, you have no idea. When it has to do with displaying things, my OCD is just off the charts. But when it comes to actually like being in my studio and like my desk, people would be like, how do you even get work done?
Yep. That looks awesome, Anna. So great.
You.
Congratulations on your work this year, man. It's been amazing.
Thanks. It's nice having a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel time lapse of your painting so that way you can post it, or no?
I did for a bit. I was when I was on Instagram for a while, I was trying to do more stuff like that, but I think as time has gone on, I'm kind of coming at things well, I don't know, I feel like you've got a lot of this stuff well in hand, but I'm learning how to be a YouTube streamer right now, you know, like just in terms of setting up, you know, the technology and, you know, going, all right, and then I'm going to try to have people on my show and do these kinds of things. So I've kind of let my Instagram go for a bit because one, it hasn't been translating into sales that much, you know, and I'm kind of like going, all right, Instagram, you know, but it's a lot of it. I may have to start doing stuff like that on YouTube. It's just streaming and talking to people is so fun. God, that's so great, Anna. Sorry if I'm distracted. I'm just watching how your process works. Oils absolutely terrify me. So,
you know, everyone says that. I hate using acrylics and then watercolors. It's the last big project I did in watercolors. I had to keep, you know, redoing it because I would just keep getting it fucked up because I'm very heavy-handed. Yeah. And so it's like oils. I'm like, okay, it's very forgiving, and any mistake you make, it's very easy to fix.
My difficulties with oils is a relationship problem that is all on my end. Oils are magnificent. I just absolutely am at a loss with them. You know what I mean? And I love oil painting. And my studio mate is an oil painter. He's amazing, does landscapes and things like that. And I actually did some Star Trek cover artwork and things like that. He's just he's amazing. He actually did a painting that William Shatner wanted to use for, I think, the poster for the movie he directed, but they went with something else. And but I'll show it to you. I'll send it to you, and you can check it out. He's really good, and I love what he does with oils. It's one of those things where when I try to work in it, my brain just doesn't work that way. But it's a really cool thing to watch other people do it. It's like watching Ethan do his pen and ink stuff. It's like, what the heck is going on here? It's amazing. He's just like, and then I draw it finished. It's like, what? Where's the underdrawing? Oh, that's awesome, man. So cool. Those eyebrows.
Yeah.
Those are great.
I've noticed that, like, I get really, I don't know, I second guess myself until I start adding in the details, and I'm like, okay. Because before I do that, I'm like, it's not coming out right. You can't see the forms correctly. This part is too big. This part is too small.
I mean, obviously, right? I said that, but I just like in terms of on the process. Is there a way to zoom in on that window a little bit in the painting process?
Oh, this thing? I can make it bigger.
Oh, yeah. Excellent. Wow, cool.
Yeah, it's weird. If I do like this bigger, it comes out all blurry. But once I make it smaller, it, I don't know, it clears up. And it's weird because I post these on both Instagram and Twitter, and it comes out better on Instagram than on Twitter. I don't know why.
Wow, that's great.
Watercolors, the medium of the masters. Yeah, I mean, watercolors is it's definitely, you need to master the skills before taking on a big project, or else you're going to be a very unforgiving place, as I have learned time and time again. But I had a fantastic watercolor teacher, and she was probably one of my favorites in the college that I went to. She's a fantastic watercolorist, and she was the one that taught us, she's like, values do all the work, but color gets all the credit. And I'm like, that is very true. And once you understand that, it's basically a little trick into color theory. But know your darks, know your lights. I suck at watercolors and oils. The best way to get better at stuff like that, Twirly Wolf, is practice. And I think it's beneficial when you're in like school, or if you have a lot of free time to practice. But it's like, for me, if I spent all my time practicing my watercolors instead of oils, I only have so much time during the day, then I wouldn't get any of my other work done. So sometimes you kind of just got to pick a medium. Like for a long time, I really liked working with pastels. And so I would do pastels all the time. But ironically, pastels are much more messy than oils are, at least the way that I use them.
You were meant to be a painter.
Sometimes I just think, I'm like, I'll get back into these other mediums, and I'm like, I could just get this done so much faster in oils. But,
well, if I can be an obnoxious art teacher, and I'm not, by no means am I, this is not a sunning thing. I'm not into that. I have to tell you, like when you see certain artists and you just go, this person is a drawer because drawing is the thing we're all most comfortable with. But if they bring that sensibility into oil painting, they're going to be unstoppable. And you're one of those people.
Oh, well, thank you.
Look at Cesar Santos. If you, I have a feeling you might like his stuff, but he's
I like Cesar Santos. I don't like his videos very much, but I like his work. Yeah. Like he's the kind of artist that I feel like if I just watched his time lapses, it would be fine. But his video style is very sporadic for my tastes.
It's nuts.
Which is how he is. And I don't know, I feel like I would there's some videos of his that I'm like, I can get through, but I'm just so distracted either by what he's saying or like what else is in his room.
Oh yeah, I mean, I imagine.
But when he is doing his time lapses, I'm like, okay, I can see what he's doing.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, they're very entertaining, but I can't put them on to work to. I'll say that.
No.
Someone's yelling.
You kind of got to stop what you're doing and focus.
Yeah, he's intense.
Twirly Wolf, how do you work light to dark or dark to light? So I kind of do a mix of both. I establish where each one is, and then I mix in between. So if you just pull up like the time lapse that I just did, you can see, well, I sketch it out first, and then you see I put down, this is the dark side on this, and then here's the other dark side, and then I put down the brightest colors, and then I go and put in the mid-tones. So I do a bit of both. I know some people like to go one or the other way, or you could, it honestly just depends on what medium you're doing, because what is it in watercolors? You work light to dark, correct?
Yeah, typically. I mean, I'm sort of, I'm working on tone paper right now, but I use gouache and watercolor. So I'm one of those people who, if I'm working in digital, I bucket fill a middle tone and then split the difference and work out. I don't know. That's how I've always had to do it. I have so much trouble working from light to dark in one direction. I have to go back and forth with the stuff, or I lose it.
I'd say find what you're most comfortable with, but you really do have to, I would say, understand your shadows. And so if you can take, or if you can look at something in black and white, like take a colored image and then look at it in black and white, and you can see the gradations within the darkness, or like within the shadows, and understanding like core shadows and stuff like that, that's really going to make it pop and make it more three-dimensional. And it's a bit tricky with each different medium that you're working in. Obviously, acrylics and oils are pretty similar, but if you have gouache you can't really blend. And so that's tricky, but a lot of watercolorists use gouache because sometimes if you're doing something dark, like you see what he's working on right here, how he has is that Nosferatu in the background?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then you have the female figure in front with the white dress, and she's got some gouache on her dress to make that pop, and that'll clean up the edges and stuff like that. So you can go back and forth. Just once you put something down, especially in watercolors, if it's black or black ink, you're not going to get that back up again no matter how much lifting you do. So you just kind of have to be aware. I thought gouache is a type of paint, for those that don't know. A lot of plein air painters use it.
Yeah, it's like watercolor with more opacifier in it. So if you water down gouache, you basically get a watercolor like paint, but you can also paint opaquely with it. The reason why it's a nightmare, and why most people deservedly learn to hate it when they get exposed to it in art school, is because if you paint with it and it's thick and you hit water to it again, it reliquefies. It never ever is done. So it's not like casing or something like that, which is, that milk-based paint stuff.
Can you varnish gouache?
No-ish. I mean, you can probably do anything. I mean, I'm sure someone's found a way, but if there's a paint that you could do that with that's like gouache, it's casing paints, which Gurney uses, and those in 3 or 4 days they cure because they're a milk-based paint, and then you can varnish those. So it's a very gouache-like paint. Can't use it on canvas. You have to use it on a more masonite or stable surface. You can use it on paper, but that you can, which is really wild. At some point, I want to try that. It sounds fun. I mean, if you're in
Alex
right?
Ross uses gouache. Yeah, so Alex Ross uses watercolor and gouache, and so that's how he gets those hard edges.
He's so good. Yeah,
oh my god, he's ridiculously good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a couple of his art books, and it's just like, ugh.
Have you seen Nick Alm's stuff?
Nick Alms, let me Google
him. No, go ahead. Finish your thought. Sorry.
I can't remember.
Alex Ross.
Oh,
you have some books.
His women. I do not like the way he does women's faces. I think they're too masculine, but that's just me.
No, I agree.
Who am I looking up?
Nick Alm. It's Nickalm. He's on Instagram, and I shouldn't even have my artwork visible when we talk about him, but he is an oil/watercolor/gouache lunatic, and his stuff is just incredible.
Oh my god. I'm going to share my screen for you guys.
Oh man.
So this is a painting.
The girl in the hat that he did in watercolor, I think, is the next, that one. Why is that? How is that in watercolor and gouache? Someone walk me through that.
Oh my god. there's this one artist that I follow that posts time lapse, and they just use watercolor and ink, and it's amazing how lifelike. But you guys, this is kind of what John Singer Sargent did. For those of you that don't know who that is, you use in obviously your values and everything, but it's one of those paintings that you can stand far away and it looks like, a photorealistic painting, and you get up close and you can see just all of these, very dramatic brush strokes, but it creates this, realistic image.
He's so good. It's obscene. I love Gabe El Taib and I were talking about Anders Zorn on one of his streams, who's another contemporary of Sargent who did the exact same thing. And well, not the exact, what I mean. Exact same thing is kind of ridiculous, but he's his stuff, and it's like I look at this stuff and I go, this is the best I've seen of a contemporary artist doing that thing. I mean, the watercolor stuff, the rocks that he paints, and he paints breathtaking women too, but the buildings in watercolor and gouache, get out of town. I mean, that's nuts.
Let me see if I can find the one artist that I was talking about. Hey guys, keep politics out of my chat, please, and thank you. You guys know the rules. Got one rule. It's that.
But that's the rule you're gonna have to break. I'm sorry. A little Dark Knight.
Well, that's.
No, I'm kidding. No, I'm with you. I can't stand politics. It's like it happens, and it's gonna happen to my streams every now and again. But it's an anti-art subject. It just kills creativity. Oh man.
I just find it so uninteresting. Like, we can get into like Star Trek or Star Wars, like politics and stuff like that, but World War stuff, I just hate it. And when I see people that know the rules and break it, it irritates me. And you know who exactly you are in my chat, so stop it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is I just realized as we were sitting here that this has turned into a Sunday painting stream. Sunday painters.
Yeah, my goal originally was to paint every single day, and then I started getting so burned out, and I'm like, I can't let myself get burned out. I need to do this and like get this project done. So the last couple days I've been streaming on Twitch, and I'm like, all right, I think it's about time I get that urge again to come back and start painting again. I think whenever I'm looking for this artist, I cannot find them.
What do they do?
They do watercolors, but it's like an Asian name, so I don't even know how to say it.
Oh, hang on a second. I feel like do I know them? Let's see. Oh man, that's hard. It's always hard to track down. The person I was thinking of paints and oils. But yeah, I mean, speaking of watercolors and painters, and I know you like Disney on some level, is Tyrus Wong and his Bambi stuff. That stuff blows my mind. He's so good, that guy.
I just found this artist. So this is a Korean artist that does watercolors. I think that they use that liquid cement stuff, but so these are his time lapses or hers. I don't know if.
Oh,
I think it's a girl.
Stars.
But it's just crazy. They just post these time lapses like every single day.
Painting kids. I mean, that's impressive. Whoa.
Well, they paint everyone at every age. Like, they'll paint babies, they'll paint old, like very elderly people. They'll paint, beautiful women that don't even have like a blemish on their face or any kind of, feature that would stand out. And they just do it seamlessly like this. And it's all with watercolors and inks. Russell Hall, thank you for the super chat. How about Demi Moore for this month's portrait? That's not a character. That's an actress. No, I just remembered Narwhal asked me like 2 years ago if I would do a painting for him for this vampire book? And I said, yeah. And I think he must have emailed me about it like months ago and I forgot. But I just got reminded now.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. Got my vote.
See, he's just, or this girl or boy is very insanely talented.
Oh my God, is that Maggie Smith?
It is.
Oh, that's a face too. That's amazing. Oh God, why am I watching this? It's like a horror movie.
Well, no, it makes
I love
me
it.
think like, oh, I could do this. It looks so easy, and then you try to do it, and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, I always tell people
they use the same two brushes for this entire thing, even for like the details.
Wow, so good.
If anyone's looking for an account, if you just want to watch time-lapse videos, this is a very therapeutic one, I would say.
Brilliant.
She has 2 Lord of the Rings videos. Yeah, guys, if you go on my main channel, I put out 2 Lord of the Rings videos on the news that came out from the Vanity Fair article. And you guys get to... I just did a breakdown of the people that are going to be working on that show, so don't get your hopes up, but those are on my main channel if you were interested. And I think they're saying that they're dropping the trailer today, so I might do a reaction video later to that. Yeah. Fantastic artist. So this artist is J. Hun Sung. She is a Korean artist. Very, very talented. Lots of content.
Korea's crushing it right now. I mean, they've got some amazing artists coming out of them for a small country. They're unbelievably prolific. I mean, you've got, what's his name? Kim Jong-ji and his comic book illustration.
Crazy.
He's insane, you know.
Have you watched the 10-minute video of him just painting that mural or drawing that mural with a Sharpie?
Yeah, I mean, I cried, but it was it was a good cry. No, I watched him do a Korean show I really love called The Kingdom, which is a zombie feudal Korea show. And if you're easily startled, not the show to watch, but it is. He did a comic book page, time lapse, and there's a piece of paper there, and he's doing inter-panel, sequencing with a brush, just painting it as if he's tracing it. It's so disturbingly good. He's amazing.
Well, one of my professors theorized that what he thinks that this guy can do is that he can see this picture in his head, kind of like a photo, like a photographic memory, but he's able to project it onto whatever he's drawing on. That's why it just looks like he's tracing something.
It's got my vote. I mean, I can't think of any other way he'd be able to do it. I mean, it's barking.
Let's see if I can pull that video and show everyone. If you guys don't know who, what's his face?
Kim Jong-ji.
Yeah. I always say Kim Jong-un, and they're like, he's an artist. I'm like, nope, wrong one. That's the dictator.
Well, he may think he is, we don't know. We haven't talked to him. We haven't spoken.
Yes, he is the best artist in the world. Let me see if okay, here it is. 19 minutes. So if you guys don't know who this is one of the best artists in the world. He is just a freaking beast. And so people just pay him to just show up, and he just starts sketching out these giant murals. And he just stands there with a Sharpie. And sometimes a brush pen. That was there. It's weird music playing. And so it's just times 2. So this is all he does. He'll be there for 10 hours, and he just sketches out this giant mural. And so colleges will pay for him to just come and sketch on an empty wall, and he just does it just out of his head like this. As you guys can see, there's nothing on. I think this is just a giant sheet of paper. There's nothing on it. He just has this image in his head, and he just starts banging it out.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people show up and just go for it on a mural, but not a lot of people draw car engines in perspective when they do that. Immaculately, accurately detailed. I mean, this is the thing. It is really good for the soul to, as an artist, to recognize there are levels. And I said to my students, I showed his videos once, and I said, this man is living proof that if there is a God, he does not hand out skill equally. I was like, this guy just destroys me, man. But yeah, speaking of Frege, I think I've got a. Do I have a Frege kicking around here somewhere? I think. Oh yeah, here we do.
It reminds Shirley Wolf reminds me of Frege. I think Frege would be very, very flattered
Absolutely.
at this comparison. Oh, who's this?
Yeah.
Oh,
this is
Gorilla.
Frege's character from Black Flag. Yeah. So his. I did that a while ago, but anyway, go back to the master. Don't show this. We got better artists up there. Man.
Hey, Alex, dope, dude.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. Oh, you feeling that early morning now?
Well, so my sleep schedule is very, very strange. I woke up yesterday about 6:30. Then I did Flash's show, and that show went until maybe, I don't know. It went late, and then I did a 2-hour video game stream. Then I took a 3-hour nap, and then I got up and I started painting. And so, I don't know.
Go work on that productivity, and I don't know what else to tell you.
I know, right? I know.
Then I rebuilt a carburetor, and I was like, then I flew a plane.
Well, no, it's more so now I'm like, standing up, putting all your concentration and energy into painting. I'm like, I should take a nap, but if I take a nap, I'm not going to wake up until nighttime.
Yeah.
But I do need to go grocery shopping eventually today. I just don't want to. Oh, yeah, it's a Super Bowl today. I'm supposed to do something.
Well,
I don't know. We'll figure
That's
that
probably
out.
why there was a knock at the door,
Yeah.
To do something.
Oh, probably. Awesome. I'm being summoned. No, I think he went to church, so yeah. Okay. He was letting me know he was leaving.
Yeah, oh man. Isn't it great? I'm going to tell you this. For those of us who are really passionate about the craft and gaining skills, it is so great to be alive now with YouTube, with all of these, different streaming platforms so you can see people like this. And I think that it's making the overall, for those people who are disciplined and don't just want to draw, the lima bean mouth or whatever it is, characters, it's making us so much better than we probably would be if we didn't know all this stuff existed. You know what I mean? It's like when you see that something can be done, it inspires you to try it. Just like in any sport, just like, it's crazy.
Wow. With him, it didn't make me want to try with pins and stuff. I'm just like, I could never get into this. But when I see his Copics, like I love working with Copics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great.
I prefer using oils just because I know I can get more realism out of it. But when it comes to Copics, there was one video of his, which I can never find anymore, but it was him just sketching in his book at his desk, and he's just surrounded by Copics. And he just pulls random ones. He doesn't even look, and he just starts adding to his sketch with them. And I'm like, imagine having like that much attention to like detail and memory that you just know exactly what Copic is where and what color it is. And he had like every single set. It's like, Jesus, man.
He's amazing. I mean, he's clearly got another gear, going on in his head that makes all this stuff possible. And
even look at the logo. He got the logo down.
Yep.
Logo and engines, and it's like, Jesus, dude.
Yep. Look at that.
See, and he always draws himself in his murals, guys. So this is like him at his desk.
Oh my God.
See, there's his Copics.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Be careful.
Yeah, he's one of those people, his friends hated that they were contemporaries of his. Like, they'd be sitting down to draw going, come on, man. Give us a chance. Wow.
I know.
That is mine.
Yeah, so just stand there for 10 hours and just pop out this, guys. It's like, oh my God. And he was using 2 different pens for this. It's insane. Wow.
Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, I think he does. I think he's got that photographic memory that he can just project onto a surface, because That's insane.
Yeah, if he doesn't,
yeah.
then I'm gonna be disappointed because that's just too good.
This one makes me put down my brush and bins forever. No, it's supposed to inspire you to achieve that level.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a sculptor by the name of Simon Lee. I emailed with him back and forth when I was a department chair at the college I used to teach at for one semester while someone was away. And I wanted to sign up this teacher who taught a sculpting anatomy class for the class and see if I could get some money for this guy to take the class because I thought he'd enjoy it. And Simon Lee does this thing where he's got this video where he does small plasticine sculptures of skulls, and he times it, and I think it's 3 minutes or 2 minutes. And he has a drawer full of them. He just wakes up and does an accurate skull that's like tiny with his tools, just as a reflex, just to like build his skills. I'm just like, what? He's the concept sculptor who worked on Pacific Rim, a lot of different movies, even Transformers. But he does all the stuff in plasticine. That's just incredible to watch him work.
I think the most rewarding thing to watch is when you see someone that's very skilled just going for it. Mm-hmm. It's fascinating. Let's see. Oh, yay. So the Lord of the Rings trailer I just saw on Twitter, guys, it's going to drop tonight, which will be fun. I'm guessing that's going to be during the Super Bowl or at the end of the Super Bowl. What was everyone's guess? So right now it is at 59% the Cincinnati Bengals versus the LA Rams. All right. Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl?
I do not know. I could not predict that. I only follow boxing. So I can predict a boxing match, but Super Bowl-wise, if my team's not in it, I'm not that big of a football fan. Sorry to break anybody's hearts there. I know many are, and I support their affection for it, but I'm a boxing guy. I say remove the ball and just have at it, just try to kill each other. But yeah.
Yeah, I could not care less about American football, but I'm a big soccer and basketball fan, so my team didn't do so well yesterday. I was not happy. It was a tie, but I was not happy.
Yeah, I mean it's I followed basketball off and on. I followed different sports, but I'm a lifelong boxing fan, and I've started to get into MMA a little bit. I mean, there's some interesting stuff happening there, but I'm just encyclopedic with boxing. I love boxing, love fighters. Been watching it forever, and funny enough, like it's outside of watching people paint. It's one of those things. Yeah, pugilism. Yeah, the squared circle. When I watch boxing, I watch it for the same reason I watch people paint. It's that sort of vicarious excellence that is really inspiring when you see somebody, knowing how hard that stuff is, when you see somebody slip a punch or do a pull counter or something like that. And it's probably the same thing with you when you watch someone, when you have an understanding of, say, soccer or basketball, you watch it differently. You understand how hard what they're doing is, and it's inspiring to watch. That's, I think, why most people, I know Gabe has obviously played some football and he's coached football as well. I'm sure it's a very different experience for him when he's watching, football, because he's, he knows he's played the sport before. He's been involved in it. And I think it's the same with you, right? You played basketball. At least I think you mentioned that once.
Yeah, I did it in like middle school, but I wouldn't count me as like an expert basketball player. I just like it because it's fast paced and it's fun. Mm-hmm. So like watching professional NBA, I'm just, I love it. It's so much fun. I know a lot of people don't, but it was one of the first times my boyfriend and I went out to go watch a game together, and we went to a bar in Newport Beach. And I'm usually not that outgoing or loud when I go out places, but I was like screaming at the TV. And of course, the only other guy that was there watching was this big black dude, and I was rooting for the opposite team of his. And I was like, fuck you, LeBron. And I was just cursing. And of course, he's sitting there with like a LeBron jersey on. And my boyfriend was like, babe. And I was like,
we all have
yeah,
those. We all
for
have
the
those sort
sport.
of sporting moments, where it's like, oh, geez, yeah, I'm surrounded by other fans of the other team, But it's, yeah, I mean, it's, I kind of, I mean, what I will say is that if somebody's watching something and they're watching, a game and it's a sport they like, I'm always game to be there. I'm cool watching it and I enjoy it, and I can get into stuff that other people are into. It's just one of those things, If somebody's into it, I'm like, all right, cool. Let me see what this is about. And I like that environment. I like the environment of people being enthusiastic and watching sports. I wish I'd gone to more. I actually only been to a few small time live boxing matches, but I'd love to go to one because I think it'd be so fun to be there with other fans watching a game. I'm watching a match, the game.
Rowan, I'm pissed. This is
Ooh. not
a happy camper about this at all. So yeah, I'm not happy about it. I don't want to talk about it, and I was not happy yesterday. So I don't know what the fuck is going on with the guys, but they need to get their heads in the game because it is infuriating watching this. Everyone's been teasing me about it because they're like, look at what Messi just did. Ronaldo hasn't scored. And I'm like, fuck you guys. Excuse my potty mouth.
Please. Yeah, well, I mean, it's I think that I've only watched it, a few times. Actually, what I was really shocked about was oh God, who was it who just had to retire recently for his health reasons? Had something with his heart. I can't believe I'm blanking. It wasn't Balotelli. What am I talking about? It was Aguero, who had to step down. Yeah, because he was they had his heart checked because he kind of had a moment out on the field, and they had to take him away. So it's a tough. I mean, that's a cardio. My God, it's a cardio nightmare.
Well, it's one of those things that we're not allowed to talk about on YouTube, or else you'll get in serious trouble. But,
yeah. Well, what's interesting though is that my grandmother's older brother, Franz, because I'm a fourth Austrian, was actually, I think he was the manager of the Linz Austria team, the Linz Lask. So I've been to a few of those games when I was out there as a kid. And so, yeah, that was definitely in my family. Europeans, you know how it is. Love their football.
Well, this is taking forever to upload onto Twitter. But guys, if you follow my art Twitter account, the time lapse will be up there on as well. If you guys do not follow me on the Instagrams, I've been streaming for over 3 hours. So I think it's about time to call this a day. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here and hanging out, watching me paint an eye. I don't know if I'll do another one today, but I'll try to do one again tomorrow. Because I think I got to stream on Twitch tonight.
Thank you for having me on the stream, by the way.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming on. My mods can drop your. Do you want to say your channel name, and then my mods can find it, and I'll link it in the description after it's done.
Yeah, sure. It's Shanthan Jetty Art on YouTube, and then I'm currently funding the campaign. People have already been dropping the link. I don't know. I want to oversell it. I just want to say thanks for having me on. I love watching your painting streams. I think they're great, and it's kind of fun to get on a stream with another artist and do work. So thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, thanks for coming on. It was fun hanging out. First time ever.
Yeah.
You guys should definitely go subscribe to his channel because he does like late night painting streams, and he'll usually have a couple other people from CG on sometimes, and it's fun to listen to while you're working because I listen to those as well. But everyone, thank you so much for being here. I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your day, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And may the force be with you because we are really, really, really going to need it. Bye, everyone.